we don't really know if the Watchmaker argument is true. We don't actually know whether the Watchmaker is the flying spaghetti monster, or the Hindu gods, or the Greek gods, or the Christian gods. Hey, today we're talking about Abraham Piper. He's got an interesting deconversion story, and he raises the question of God's existence and how do we actually know that we're part of the true religion? Hope you enjoy it.
The Watchmaker argument. A watch implies a watchmaker. Perfectly reasonable, so let's take it seriously. Let's say this argument is conclusive and proves there's a creator. That's all it proves. But the crazy thing that dogmatic religions do is they take this piece of information, this very general idea that if there's a watch, there's a watchmaker, and they say something like, the watchmaker is a 74-year-old man in Ames, Iowa, who likes John Deere tractors, Maxwell House coffee, and loves Black Cavendish in his meerschaum pipe. But then another religion will be like, no! The watchmaker is a 14-year-old gamer in San Antonio who has an upside-down U.S. flag in his bedroom and lives off of Go-Gurt. And then a third contender is going to say, actually, it's the 74-year-old man in Ames, Iowa, but it's not a meerschaum pipe, it's briar, and I can't believe you'd think it's meerschaum. We are going to not fellowship with you. Point being, even if you have conclusive evidence that something created everything, you're still a million steps away from proving anything like all the details that most religions claim that they know about this supposed creator.
Yeah, so it's actually a really good point that he's raising, and I think some context even to his background and a lot of the people's background that are kind of react or deconvert or whatever, like Abraham Piper has, where a lot of them share this profile about growing up in a very conservative, kind of evangelical upbringing, and then they come to a point in their life where they're like, there's got to be something different than this. Let's deconstruct this, or which sometimes is fine, but to rethink all of these things. And then some of them have like this overreaction and overcorrection that takes place, where they start to look at some of the basic arguments of Christianity and say, well, these aren't legitimate anymore. And sometimes those are legit because it draws them into kind of a deeper study of Christianity and realizing that actually there's great answers for some of these questions, and this is a great example of religions do fight over the classic watchmaker argument. Basically, all religions are some version of, well, I know what the watchmaker is, and I know who the watchmaker is. What he means by the watchmaker argument is William Paley, way back in the day, talked about the idea that if you walk along the beach and you see a rock, you might go, oh, that rock just kind of chipped off a mountain and came down here through lava over millions of years, and it doesn't really demand some kind of great answer. But if you find a watch and you pick it up and you look at it, it's got all this intricate detail about how it ticks and how it moves and all the machine inside. You go, someone made this watch. Ergo, when you look at the universe, when you look at the way the world works, you go, man, this isn't just insane. It demands this answer of who designed all of this intricate detail, even the way the body works. And it demands an answer. Someone actually made this. There's a mind behind creation. So that's the basic idea. I think what he's saying here is very true. Dogmatic, theological religions kind of, fight over the details. And I think that's why Christianity has this great extra step where it says, okay, there's other things that we have to bring to the table. For instance, let's not just keep the vague concept of a God. Let's actually ask questions about the details of this God. So can we trust that the Bible, for instance, gives us more details about who this God is? Okay, if we trust the Bible, and we got reasons to do that, history and literature and archaeology, then what the Bible exegetes about this watchmaker and tells us about him can be trusted to some degree. Do we believe Jesus Christ actually historically rose from the dead? If so, and there's a lot of great historical arguments for why, then we can move kind of backwards from there and go, okay, can we trust what Jesus says about this blind or this watchmaker? What atheists or evolutionaries call evolutionary thinkers call the blind watchmaker, of course, because nature is blind and it's just kind of existing and moving forward. But the Christians or theists would say that the watchmaker actually has a mind. He knew what he was doing when he constructed certain things. And so it's like, did Jesus really raise from the dead? Then let's move backwards from there. Jesus claimed to be God. What did he teach us about God? There's actual information. And so I think that this is in a sense true, but most religions would go, no, we're not saying we're just thinking it up in a vacuum. We actually believe in sacred texts that tell us more information about this God, and that's what we tend to argue about. So then it kind of pushes the question just one more back to go, well, whose sacred texts are actually most right when explaining who this God is? And then you go into the legitimacy of the New Testament, the Old Testament versus maybe the Quran or the Book of Mormon or whatever, and that becomes the debate. And so, very true, the religions are debating who the Watchmaker is, but I think it's not just, you know, whistling in a vacuum. There's actually information that you can look into historically, from a literature, from a philosophical standpoint, from an archaeological standpoint, to get more right, in a sense, which is, of course, what the debate of religion is. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that video. Please comment, tell me what kind of videos you want me to react to. Make sure you subscribe, put on your notifications. Thanks for watching this. Thank you.